Medel said, is that we have the dominant white culture that wants to stay dominant. Our purpose of Southern Apache Museum is to speak the truth. Yeah. As a matter of fact, our slogan is home of the brave in more ways than one. Not just Native American braves, but brave enough to say whatever it is that we need to say in this society and speak out the truth. We don't have in our school systems anything on Native Americans at all, except that we maybe had tomahawks in our hands at all times. We were savages, and of course we were not savages. As a matter of fact, the savages were the Spaniards that came here. They forced Native Americans into the mission systems. We never had, actually Texas did have 2 reservations for about maybe a year. They tried to keep the reservations going, but it didn't work. They were up in the Panhandle area. But they could never have reservations here in Texas, and the main reason is because we just wouldn't let them. So they started building missions, and they would get the priests to get the Native Americans to come in. Now the Lapon Apaches went into the missions twice. We didn't stay very long because we knew that they were using us for slavery, basically, to dig for gold. And I don't know if we went through one of the segments of the film, but Theodore DeBry also, because he was an artist and engraver, all the pictures that you see there, the photos of the people that are being tortured and their hands cut off and things like that were actually eyewitness account of Theodore DeBry, who actually saw this, and Bartholomew de las Casas asked him to come. Now Bartolomé de las Casas was not a priest when he first came to the Americas. And he asked Theodore DeBry to come and draw everything that he saw. Why? Because he couldn't believe the atrocities that Columbus and his horde of Spaniards were doing to the Native Americans. They saw the Native Americans were so innocent in the very beginning that when one of the Spanish soldiers handed him a sword, they grabbed it by the edge of the sword, not knowing that it was steel, made of steel, and of course they cut their hands, which Columbus right away realized, wow, we can have these people do whatever we want with them and take them and make them slaves, and that's exactly what they did. So they built all these missions in Texas, changed everything that the Native American was. You had to throw away your heritage, your language, change your name from whatever Native American name you had to a Spanish name. Now here in the South, most Native Americans have Spanish names. Why? Because of the Spaniards that came in and took over the southern area. You know, along the coast, the East Coast, you have a lot of people that are Native Americans that have English names or French names, and that is only because, not because they're French or because they're English, it's because they were changed to the same thing that they were here in Texas. Yes.
Ms. Chance, what do you think has been the main obstacle in not getting courses in Native American studies at the local colleges and universities in Houston? What do you think is the main obstacle?
I think because the Native American society in Houston and in Texas is invisible. But it is invisible because we are kept invisible because we are not taught anything in school about Native Americans that live here today. Today we have over 68,000 Native Americans, according to the last census taken, 68,000 Native Americans that live in Houston and the surrounding area just by itself. That doesn't include Corpus Christi, San Antonio, and all the other places, McAllen, that have Native Americans. And I believe that the reason that the schools don't teach it is because that's the way they want it. We live in the Bible Belt, okay? We live in the Bible Belt. When you live in the Bible Belt, there's the worst prejudicism that you're going to come across in all of the United States, which is sad But that is what started all of this. They came here in the